Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this week's Tackle Box. I'm your host, Jack C. Beard, and I'm really excited again this week. I don't know what we've got. The stars have aligned, and we've got our incredible devs out for a little Q&A, a little bit of fishing experience. We're going to have a good time and get through some questions and get through some points. So today, as you can see, we've got Mr. Rushy with us. How you doing, sir?
Hello, I'm doing great, thanks.
Thank you for coming back, man. It is great having you out here during the weeks. It's fantastic. Thank you. And then, of course, we've got with us, and you met him once before, and today he's made it a game. Danny, what's happening, my friend? Welcome. How are you today?
Hello. I'm so happy to be back here with you guys. Looking forward to do some actual fishing today.
Yes, sir. I'm really looking forward to it. As I'm sure chat is, I see everybody out here right now. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are in the world. I think maybe before we get into too much, where are we going? We should maybe jump into a vehicle, and I'm going to show the folks what's happening around the community here. Loving the outfit. Absolutely love the outfit. I gotta get it myself. Man, for those of you who don't know, that has come with the new souvenirs that you can get in the shop. It's by far one of the best there. You can get them. Oh, do you have the matching Jeep? Okay, I was just curious because you could have looked like a complete warden.
I made myself useful a little bit in the meantime with good old Clayton. So
Fantastic. Action fishing. I want to see dynamite. Well, you never know. Dynamite. That's fantastic. All right. While these kind gentlemen take us to where we're going, I want to catch you guys up on what's going on in the community before we get into too much. As many of you have found, because so many of you are partaking right now, we recently launched a competition within our Discord community called King of the Catch. Now, the first week out the gates was something else. I couldn't believe the submissions, the Lakers that were showing up. Lake trout were the main focus. And I don't know, can I jump over here? Oh, I think Rushy, you might show, or whoever's talked last is going to show up on this, but I think we can deal with it. I'm going to show you guys what was happening. If you want to check it out, come on into the Angler Discord. You'll see the submissions. We're on week 2. This is where they all currently go, but we will always show the previous week so you can recap what sort of catches there were and what was happening. And you can see we came right out the gates with a bunch of golds. We cycled through and seeing our community members. Oh, there's a little bit of a hint on who ended up taking it. The golds were coming fast and furious until KMB stepped it up with the diamonds. He was dominating the week. I couldn't believe it. Every time I went in to check, KMB had another diamond, and he's figured out the scoring. And we did touch base a little bit on that last week. There is a little more to it than most folks recognize, and we'll touch base on that here today as well. So stay tuned. But you can see what happened, and go and take a look for yourself. I mean, Wing Munchies with the beautiful diamond. We had, they were coming fast and furious, and we thought KMB had it sewn up. He had some incredible beauties, but right on the 11th hour, along came AKA Tosh, and he took the win. Well done, my friend. He wears the crown for the week. Once again, if you want to get involved, there's a link right on the game page, right on the news feed. You can come join the Discord and get involved. There we go. I had to get you guys up on that because this week is really shaping up with the pike. Man, I don't know. Rushy, Danny, if you've been able to see what's happening in the Discord with this competition, folks are really, they're coming together for a competition. They're coming together and sharing their tactics and what their gearing is to get that best score and locations. It's been kind of cool to watch.
No, I love this stuff. And I know that obviously we haven't got actual competitions in the game, and this is just purely being organized, by you and the community. It's just great to see everyone getting involved, and hopefully down the line we can actually put official competitions into the game and have people competing for in-game rewards as well.
Right? Yeah, I agree. That would be great. That's something huge to look forward to. Here you go, folks. You can see there's considerations, there's ideas, things floating around. So what do you think? We've got a lot coming up here pretty soon, and I know there's a lot to talk about. Maybe while we're driving, we could talk a little about, dare I say, the next update. What do you boys think?
Yeah, I think it's worth pointing out as well that the build that we're playing right now, that you guys are watching on the stream, is a dev build. This isn't live build that everyone else is playing. This is a newer kind of well, today's build, in fact, so it's hot off the press. So I'll warn you now, if there are any crashes or any bugs, it's because it's not been fully QA'd yet. But yeah, we're going to be showing off a few new features in today's stream.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. Don't worry. I am displaying that it is a development build. It's a work in progress. Folks can see that, but good on you making sure they know.
Yeah, I mean, you may have already noticed just sneakily every now and again, just a short message or something on the left-hand side of the screen whilst we're playing. I've been showing off one of the small features, not the biggest feature for this update, but something that a lot of people have been asking for, and that's a way to communicate with people. So what we've added, there we go, Danny's just said, I know, a great spot, which is why he's taken us there. So we've added in the ability for you to be able to quickly chat. So it's easily accessed via the quick menu, and there's a good selection of predefined messages that are instantly translated to whatever language people are playing in. So you can communicate and say hello, say goodbye, have some fun greetings and things along those lines. But yeah, it's just a nice thing to kind of increase the social interactions online.
That is very cool. So just to recap there, what you're saying is when we're using this, if I'm sitting here in Canada land and I'm playing with a buddy or someone on the server that speaks a different language, it'll auto-translate it for us?
That is correct.
Oh, that's very cool. That is very cool. That's handy. Can I get that outside the game too?
That would be great, wouldn't it?
It would be pretty handy. Oh, we have arrived. Where are we here? Oh, great spot. Nice choice, Danny.
Let's see what we can find here, guys.
Very good, very good. We're going to jump on a boat, or you want to go off the dock? What do you boys think? Get on a boat.
I would like to go on a boat.
Yes,
Let's give a go to this nice lake here.
Fantastic. Hello, everybody in chat. Hello. Yes, I'm sorry. I know I haven't had a chance to catch up with all of you. You can see we got a lot going on, and there's so much to talk about. But it is a pleasure to have you all with us. I can see K and B in chat. That's I'm telling you guys, you got to get involved in that King of the Catch. It's been wild to watch. Here we go. Let me get the volume up a little bit. So it's early here in the day where I'm at. It's only 9 in the morning. It is starting to get bright, but it kind of has a very similar feeling as to what we're seeing here on the reserve right now. This is great. This is great. So we're going to go look for some pike, my friends. We've got varied setups, and I have something to show you, which is kind of interesting. I think a lot of you are going to be really excited about this one. I don't know if I can keep it under wraps much longer. Are we ready? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, my friends, I get the pleasure to show you this one. And I know this has been something that has been a big request through the community. So let's just get this out here. Now, I'm going to fish for the pike with my spinner, but I just thought it would be nice if we could take a closer look at our float while we're out here fishing. That is huge. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get a bite on anything because I'd really like to show that off. But with this update, not only do you get the ability to zoom in and out on the float, instead of just watching the rod, your rod, you can do what you want. And it's been a big request from the community. But if I can get a fish to attack me here, you'll see really, I think, what's a huge option in the way of accessibility. Do you want to, before I even show much further, do you guys want to throw your 2 bits on how this came to be and the thought process behind it?
Well, this is purely community driven, this feature. We've had the strike option in since launch, where you get that big message up on the screen along with the associated sound effects to give you that very clear kind of timing as to when you want to strike to hook the fish. But we heard loud and clear that not everyone likes that. A lot of feedback about it being immersion breaking. So we wanted to make sure that we give you the options to tune that and tailor it to your own needs. So what Jax is showing off right now is, well, as soon as you get a nibble or a bite in the line, is that you've got the ability to turn off all the HUD for the strike option, set it to a minimal option. So if you only want some clues as to when best to strike, and you've also got the independent option to toggle the sound on and off as well. So you've got complete control over that now. So you can, have the immersive fishing experience that you want, complemented by the focus on the float. so that when you are float fishing, you can zoom in nice and tight to it and watch the behavior of the float and use the clues of the movement of it to time your strike.
Speaking of which, look at this coming in right now. Right on it. Oh, I haven't even had a chance to do this yet. It's nibbling. I don't know if I should strike yet. I struck too early. And so what Rusty is saying, let me just show you guys. Really, I just think this is great that we have this option now. Under the accessibility, we have now the option to turn off the strike, toggle on off the strike indicator. You don't have to have it just fully off. You can have it on minimal as well. So, you know, I think people will appreciate that extra level of customization. Because it gives you, you know, the ability to play how you want to play. Because I do know there's a lot of folks that like to go in, drop their line, and then, you know, as we do with fishing, our attention's drawn on maybe what your bait for your maybe you're tying a fly, or maybe you're watching a podcast for that matter. So it's nice to have those abilities. Kudos to the team. That's you know, listening to the community like that and taking that feedback and giving us the option of keeping it as it was, because some people do appreciate that, and giving us a new option, as I'm sure some will really appreciate that. So, round of applause, gentlemen. Round of applause.
Yeah, it's just one of the things I wish we could have got in sooner. It's definitely one of the things. Obviously, we've had a lot of priorities and a lot of things we wanted to improve upon and get fixed and added in terms of features and quality of life things. So we're going to bring this to you very soon, guys. Not too much longer to wait for this one, because I know everyone's been shouting from the rooftops for this.
And you're absolutely right. They have, and as we have a passionate community, it's great that you guys let us know this stuff. You can see the results, right? You can see the results here. Paffin, what's up, brother? Whatever newest affiliate, welcome.
I just there you go. I got something. I just missed a strike while you were speaking about this.
No.
There you go. Mountain whitefish for after pike.
Yeah, not what I was hoping for, but it's something. It's more than you guys.
Oh, I wanted to see. Look at the size of that. Oh, yes, sir. I have a feeling you guys had a little too much fun with this.
Yeah, and it's definitely an area I think we can add more messages into the quick chat as well over time. So if there's any kind of categories that we've missed or kind of strings or sentences that you guys want, these are things we can consider. Of course, we're not a mature rated game, so we need to, you know, keep it safe and kid friendly and everything. But yeah, let's again hear your feedback and see what else we can add to it, because it's definitely one of those things we can easily extend and add more to it.
Oh my goodness, I can already see the forums in Discord with all the suggestions. They're probably already flying in. And the ability to say this, the ability to, you know, I can only imagine. Yes. Oh, I can see on chat. Love that Zoom. This is beautiful, Rushy. I'm so glad that you guys appreciate what the team is doing here. And these changes, I think, are going to have a big play. I just heard a fish jump. Oh, man. Okay, I have the urge to watch you both, but I need to get a line in the water, so I'm gonna do it just like this. Cross the lines. Oh, keep it kid friendly. Absolutely. Good to see you, Sute. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Got something here.
What do you got?
You're getting all the bites.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, this is big. Okay. I found the first pike.
Oh, very nice.
And you know what? Now you cannot be distracted even 1 second, because I was going to lose another strike while you were speaking. I was listening to you.
That's the thing. You really do have to pay
Deep
attention.
focus mode.
Yeah, right? Well, it ups the game. You know, I think, honestly, some of the best changes, or I shouldn't say changes, best additions to the game was the adjustments that you all made in the fish speed, in the fish AI, the behavior. It really changed the fishing experience. And we're experiencing this now that a lot of folks have figured out how to get the big scoring fish. So it means that they're challenging themselves. I know that's not the most recent update, but it by far is one of my favorite. But speaking of updates.
Well, we do have another fish behavior update coming as well. Obviously, in the last update, We added fish being spooked when you're casting and landing the float or the load nearby them. We got some feedback from the community. It was a little bit binary. The radius was a bit too large, so we've made a number of changes on that now to make sure that it's not quite as impactful. So there won't be this kind of binary state of if it's close to the fish, it will instantly get spooked. There'll now be some randomization, not just in terms of whether or not it will be spooked, but also the size of the radius as well. So it's a lot more variable. It feels more natural and authentic in general play now.
Very nice. Very nice. I have to ask, I think I'm noticing something here. I don't mean to change topics, but now we are in a dev build, so I have to ask if it is the dev build. I'm noticing I'm hitting my right mouse button and I'm not trying to strike too early.
Oh, yes, we've got that fixed now.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was a setting that I turned off. I thought maybe I had to. So there you go, folks. I'm seeing this firsthand live right now as well. Some of these cool additions and changes. Sorry, one sec.
Yeah, just because as with any sort of update that we want to put out, obviously the focus is on adding new features and the kind of quality of life improvements. But we're always making sure we're tracking all the bugs and issues and anything that people are having. So again, the Discord has been super useful for us to, look at the kind of the highest priority bugs, and we're trying to make sure we roll in with every single update as many fixes and changes as we can.
That's also the reason why we recently updated the score system a little bit. We saw that a lot of people weren't finding a lot of incentives to go for those long epic fights with light tackle, and I must say that already looking at the King of the Catch channel, I see a lot of different scores. Really, guys, you are getting the hang of this, and I hope you're having fun.
Now, again, folks, if you're out there and you're looking for one of the best fights in a fishing game, well, people are starting to figure out how and why. I personally think that's the case here. It's not about getting the biggest, the best. You can certainly do that as progression is a thing. But if you take the biggest rod and go for every fish, you're not going to get those top scores. I love the fact that it is literally, it seems to me that it's featured around the particular fights, which is what makes fishing what it is. So I've thoroughly been enjoying this, It's a challenge that I think many are rising to right now.
And I can say something more about that. Now, for us, the trickiest part about that was, we wanted to really reward those big long fights. Speaking of which, I finally got it. Wait a second. Oh, there we go. First spike. It's
nice.
just a silver though.
That's okay. It's first one of the boat.
Yeah.
Nice.
But as I was saying, we really wanted to reward those big long fights without necessarily penalizing people that, maybe you're just chilling, float fishing. You just want, to get as many catches as possible. So the system is designed to accommodate both play styles. And let me tell you something. The reason why we are taking a little bit of time to introduce all the challenges or the competitions, it's because we really want to make things right and fun. And we are using a lot of the feedback that we are receiving in order to nail this very well. So
good. You
can expect some good things in the future. We are really, really, really listening and trying to do our best.
I love that. And I know chat does too. I mean, I'm just the community manager. I don't get to work on the game like these gentlemen. But having you both out and hearing what you're telling, it's just exciting. I don't mean to croon over here, but hearing stuff like that, knowing that, the voices matter, folks. So get in the Discord and give us those voices. Any news on a console release? It's always the elephant in the room, and I've seen it going through the chat just to appease the folks. I ask you every week, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, 1 minute. I've just
look
got
at
something
you
on the line. Give me a moment. I'll explain the console situation in a second.
Oh, that just went down deep. I watched that happen. Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
That was good timing.
That was great timing. I positioned my line behind so I could watch you boys, and I saw it hit and go deep.
All right, I could be at this for a while. Actually, this is this is the big boy, right? So yeah, console situation. So as we talked about in the last two streams, development's going well. I make sure I get hands on with the builds on the various platforms each week to make sure that we're progressing well. It's starting to really come together now. We've got dedicated team, so working on the console, so they're not working on any of the features or content or anything along those lines. They are just working on the consoles, and yeah, we're in good shape. We're just not yet in a position to actually announce a date. We want to make sure that we've ticked all the boxes and made sure we're ready for the certification processes and hoops you need to jump through to release on console before we announce that date, because we don't want to slip. We don't want to tell you when it's going to come out and then the next week or two change that. So we want to be certain before we give you that date.
Thank you for that. And I mean, I knew what the answer was going to be, and I think a lot of our folks did, but we have a lot of hopeful console players, and it's nice for them to hear the progression and where it's at. So as you guys can hear, it's fully in the works. It's just a development process, and hope to share more soon.
That spilled out. No.
Did you really?
And it's got. I did. I've only got a two kilogram rig here, so I'm going to struggle if I get anything too big. I need to earn some more cash.
I hear you. But when there's so much to buy, it's hard to hold on to the cash these days. I've been buying stuff. I'm broke again. I am legitimately broke. Oh, goodness. That's right, Hosen. Exactly. I hope that helped, NCAA. I do. Vorgrax, what's happening? Hello, everybody. Eduardo. No. Oh, dude. Do you have a release date for for the Hunter? No, we do not either. But come back next Tuesday. Maybe we can give you some more info on that. Oh, Rushy started a challenge. Oh, I didn't even go and accept one today. Which brings me to my latest point. And in fact, let me just bring this rod in. And I will go in and take one myself.
Yeah, because I was just thinking after I said to myself, I haven't got enough cash. I'm like, what's the best way to actually earn a bit more XP to get some cash? And it's like, yeah, I've got no challenges active. So yeah, get those queued up.
Yep. That's truly the best way to earn money in this game. Obviously, is getting your levels, but getting out there on these daily challenges, my friends, are just incredible. So check them out. And I did notice that there's been some changes to that. Gaz was in the Discord and let a lot of our folks know some of the little tweaks. If one of you gentlemen wanted to just explain how that's been adjusted.
Or the tweaks to the challenges.
Yeah. Or I can. I'm sorry.
I've not actually checked out what Gaz says specifically, but yeah, we have been. Obviously, each week we refresh the selection of challenges. And we've been obviously trying to refine them and tune them to make sure that we're kind of satisfying, what we're seeing in terms of the community feedback there. So I think we've added a few different ones this week, and so it's a bit more varied in general. But I'm not quite sure. What else did Gaz say? You're going to have to remind me.
Well, you've pretty much covered it. Sorry, Danny, go ahead.
No. I think that's that. I can only remember also Gaz mentioning that we avoided to have duplicates, and we are trying to add variety. You can expect a number of tweaks to challenges anyway, because it's not that complicated for us. We just need to understand what's better for you and for the game. But we can keep updating.
And I think that was more feedback that came from the community, was any duplicates. That's more what I was referring, because I've seen the conversation. So knowing that you won't get the duplicates per day, and just how the randomness will work and such, I think it's a good little change, little tweaks as we go, right?
Yeah, and it's worth reminding that we want to add different types of challenges down the line as well. This first selection is what we had time to get done for the feature initially, but we already have plans to add some more specific challenges, which I think will offer greater challenge for those who want it.
Very nice. Now, we are in the dev build. And as such, so I have this. I'm still having this issue. I can't strike at the moment. Should I leave and come back?
You can't strike at all.
No.
See, that's interesting. Maybe try, because it's in the dev build. Just I'm thinking maybe go back into the authentic strike options, switch onto minimal, and just double check to make sure, because that'll give you a hint on the tension gauge in the bottom right corner as to when to strike, and just make sure that it's behaving as intended. This is the problem with running a live dev build. We might run into the odd issue here and there.
Absolutely, and people understand that. We have the development build shown that it is a work in progress. We're just giving you guys the inside look. So, these things, they do happen. We've seen that even with our other game when we've shown dev builds. Okay, so strike indicator. What if I run it at minimal? That I guess does that matter? Yeah. Okay.
Check onto minimal, I would say, and give that a go, because that will give you a very clear indication as when you need to strike to make sure that you're timing it right, and then we can find out whether or not it's an actual bug or not. It might be something to do with the binding of your keys. I don't know if there's any conflicts, because we've added the focus on the float. That's on F. Obviously, that's rebindable as well. So maybe there's an issue there. But yeah, we'll definitely get that fixed before we roll out this update.
Oh, 100%. Yes, for sure. And these things, as we said, they're just about the development. I'm going to watch you gentlemen right now because I can see fish. Look at that. You both got a fish on?
No,
I don't.
Not yet.
Oh, you've got one heading down to your line.
I did a minute ago.
Oh, did you? Okay. Very nice. Let's take a look at chat. I'm sorry, I know I'm getting so distracted here. Are you going to add a house to where you can mount your fish? And that's a good question. I think I know the answer to that one, as we've hit Reshi with this every week. These are considerations that the team is looking towards, and I don't think there's really much else that could be said towards that. Is there, boys?
I think that's exactly right. It's a consideration moment. We've definitely seen a lot of people mention it, especially those who play the hunter, because of course you do have hunting lodges there. And I think it would be a great addition to the game to have some sort of either aquarium or way to mount fishes so that you can show off your best catches. But it's definitely a feature that is be a huge undertaking for us, and so if we did do it, it would be further down the line.
Very good. And I hope that helps, gentlemen. I hope that helps, chat. I see Vorgrax, you're asking, so does lighter tackle, longer fights increase points you get for a catch? Indeed, it does. There's lots to factor in there. Danny, how was that process? Like, we've talked about this, but I know I find it interesting. I know a lot of the community does. That's kind of a complicated system when you look under the surface, pardon the pun.
Yeah, we actually I'm a big believer of simple and elegant design. So the hardest thing was we got the rank system. For example, the rank of the fish has an impact on the score. For example, this is what I meant when I said we also want to reward the players who just get the fish. Also the weight, it's a factor because that's too iconic to exclude. But the main thing that you should look at is the difference in strength between your line and the weight of the fish, which that's basically the primary thing that makes a fight longer or shorter. Then, of course, not all fish fights in the same way. So let's say that you assemble a setup to have a very strong fight with a pike, but accidentally something else bites. Then the long fight might not be worth, for the kind of fight that you were looking for, indeed. So I would say that between these things and the fact that you will really want to filter out species or with the hook sizes. Some fish that would make your fishing action less profligate.
Okay.
You should have a lot of ways to control and get good scores. A word of advice: we made so that if you're really overpowering too much the fish, your gains are a lot lower because this is something that can be tweaked, but we really wanted to try to push that fun and challenging experience without being too harsh. But that's the reason why if you really go too hard, 20 kilo slice versus a 3 kilo fish, your score is going really to be incredibly low. But I can see in the future also possibilities to expand the score system further on if we got the chance and if there is the request for that.
Well, that's juicy. That really is. Very nice. Are you also going to add the ability to have tournaments online?
I think that ties into what we discussed earlier with just competitions in general. We started off with a focus on social fishing, fishing together as groups, but not necessarily competitive. But we know you guys are enjoying the competitions being organised on Discord, and it's always something we want to bring to the game. So we'll definitely be bringing some competitive elements. What form they take, whether it's tournaments or one-to-ones or something along those lines, we haven't got that kind of locked in yet. But it's an area that we're discussing, and if you want to put your opinions forward on the likes of Discord and what you'd like to see from competitions, then by all means let us know, because it's definitely something we're going to be looking at in the kind of medium to long term.
There we go. Yeah, I know. I keep seeing the questions, and some of them are the same ones coming up and similar and chat. We're trying to answer them all. If you want to put some out there, by all means, please do. It's one of the reasons we have our incredible devs coming out to be able to get to know the community as well. Let's see here. Core asks, I wanted to know if we're planning to add content so the game is longer than the current one. For example, by adding unique fish or something else that you have in advance for your answer. That's actually a pretty good question. Now, I know, for instance, you've seen, if you join the game, there's something in the works. It says coming soon, but what are the thoughts for the future that we can share with folks?
Well, obviously, everyone's seen the new reserve that's lurking in the reserve select screen. That's obviously going to bring new fish along with it, but we're also looking at another way to bring more unique fish to the game. So whilst this won't be in the next update, which will be with you guys soon, we are looking to add unique fish to Golden Ridge Reserve. I don't know how far I can go with this, but they're not going to be the usual selection of fish, and they're not going to sit under the standard ranking categories that you've got in game. They're going to be harder to find and harder to catch, and I think it's going to be a real community effort to try and work out where these new fish are and how to catch them.
Very nice. That's more juicy stuff. Jeez, you guys, this is too much. Something.
You can also expect unique fighting behavior from this.
Oh,
yeah. So obviously, all of our fish have unique traits. So which they can perform during a fight. These new fish, I'm dying to say the name of them, but I won't just do just yet. Also have their own bespoke traits. So you'll have to make sure that you're kind of quick to react to the situation.
I gotta say.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Gaz is watching right now, going, "Put me in, coach. I'll tell them."
But I think it's okay to create a little bit of hype. I will say that I'm looking forward for when we introduce them, because I think that getting to know them and finding them is going to, resonate through the community. I think it's going to be a community effort at the beginning.
Well, we've seen the community come together, especially with the King of the Catch. So I can only imagine what we've got the devs involved here. What could happen? So there's something to look forward to, big time. Oh, actually, sorry. And I just see, so there are with this. I know there's with the next update, there's some fixes coming as well. And I do see I'm going to say it wrong here. Hervkala, I think I said it right. Please fix the line not going through the eyes of the rod. I think I saw that in the notes, did I not?
Yes, we have fixed that, and we've gone one further. So we had a couple of different types of rods where the line wasn't going through the eyelets properly. We fixed that, and that would definitely be in the next update. But we've also, whilst we were looking at fixing that, we've also, previously the line would actually go through the center of the eyelet, just through the middle, so it wouldn't physically touch the the inside rim. So now we've made it actually animate properly with inside the eyelet, so it looks natural now.
That's cool. Very nice. Good fix. And there's a whole ton more. I don't know if you want to touch on any of them, but I know that it's going to be greatly appreciated by our community.
Well, as always, we're one of the key pieces of feedback that we've always been working towards is improving the water. I think we've made huge strides towards making it look fantastic, and I think most people are very satisfied with where it's at now. But we have been working on more changes, some of which will be in the next update, and some will be in the update after. We've got plenty lined up. But in this one, you might be able to see in the stream right now, but you'll notice that the crests or the movement of the water is a little bit lower or shallower now. So you'll tend to notice that the water in general is just a lot calmer. And I think it just looks a bit more natural. It also brings out some of the reflections better. And if you're running on, let's say, a lower spec PC or something where you haven't got that resolution either, the distance where you might have got some shimmer before also gets cleaned up a little bit because of the water's just less active, less noisy.
I can feel that as you're saying that. I'm showing the folks. I focused the camera on Danny's line when he cast it out there. Having the light shining with the reflections and the individual ripples and the movement. I think it's come an awful long way. It looks good, but you're doing more to it. Is this what you're saying? There's more improvements?
There's more, yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that, again, we've seen from the feedback is that the float movement when you're float fishing isn't entirely one-to-one with the movement of the waves and the water. So we're doing some work in that area, not for this next update, but the update after, where we're going to try and get that aligned much closer. So that in particular, when you're using that focus on the float, when you're zooming in and you're waiting for the movement on the float so you can judge when to strike, that's going to be a lot better down the line as well. So again, a lot of these features that we're introducing are often just the first steps. So here's the first version of it, and we plan to evolve it and iterate upon it. Using feedback and just to bring the quality level up across the board.
Very good. And I know a lot of this ties in together. Like you mentioned the lines. I know that was something I'd seen as well. The slack in the line.
Yeah, that's now been fixed as well. Because previously, what would happen is that the line would often just droop, and which obviously it shouldn't do if you pulled the line taut and you're using a float, for example. So that's been addressed, and that now behaves much more naturally. And we're working on the line behavior as well as to how it sits on the water, because what you notice a lot of time right now, the line actually just drops through the water. So we're working on actually having it float on the surface of the water too. So again, more changes, more improvements, and just kind of this continual refinement of all the key areas.
Right, exactly. And I've also seen there's a lot of little things that you guys have done that are just going to greatly increase the experience, like not hearing the ignition sound of every boat, just the way the float, the way they're drifting. There's a lot that's happened in the shop with gear, so well done. You guys can all expect this. This is with the next update, I believe.
I can't guarantee anything because, again, it's one of those things that whilst fixes are in the build right now, if there's a problem with any of those individual fixes, we might have to look at fixing them down the line, push them to the next patch. So as of right now, yes, those fixes are in this build that we're actively playing, and one we're hoping to get out soon for you guys. But yeah, everything is subject to change, of course, until we announce all the details.
Absolutely. It's just nice to be able to let the folks know where the direction and how much is going into each one of these updates. So well done. Love to hear it. And no, unfortunately, I do see LOA Wizard. What's up, man? When's the next update? I don't think there's a date set as of yet in concrete, because with these, as you've seen in the past, they typically try to get as much in as they can, and then of course it has to go through the process before it's released. So
yeah. Yeah, we haven't got a date to show here, but we can say that we're kind of in that kind of testing phase now for this next patch. So obviously testing can vary depending on how many bugs and issues that we find with the next update. But we're kind of in the last stages where, you know, implementation side of things are done, and we're just kind of polishing it all up and get it ready to get it out to you guys.
And I think really, you know, with that, what people really should take away, yes, there's bug fixes and stuff, but the main stars of the show is, as I showed you here earlier, this is Clayton talking to me right now. Let's go in and take one more quick look. Now in your accessibility menu, you have the ability to change your strike SFX and the strike indicator. I have mine set to minimal, but you can turn it right off. You can turn it on. I personally think this is, you know, it's been a big request. It's awesome that it's in, but there's more I think that we haven't really touched too much on, was this spooking behavior, right? That was, I know, a big addition, and obviously everything's with balance and getting it, but is there anything you can really tell us about that?
Yeah, well, I can talk to it just a little bit more. Again, it's something that we felt like the fish weren't reacting to you, the players, enough. You know, it's almost like you weren't there. So we wanted to make sure that obviously the movement of the player, proximity of the player, and of course what you're doing on top of the surface when you're casting, and the lure or the float landing on the water, making sure that, you know, the fish were reacting to you as they should. Obviously, that went into the previous patch, and we've been working on refining that to make it feel just more natural. Because, as I think I mentioned before, it was a bit too binary on the whole, and it often led to too many fish just being spooked away. So we've kind of it's tuning and balancing more than anything else for this patch.
Very nice, very nice. Man, this is amazing. Sitting here this morning, I'm sitting in the boat watching you two gentlemen, and we've got the sun coming up over on the horizon, just lighting it up, and the music in the background. Goodness. Hey, do you think we'll ever get our tunes? Have we had them over to Spotify?
Yes, we've already got the Golden Ridge Reserve music up on Spotify, and our next reserve may have some new music to go along with it as well. So hopefully, I can't promise this just yet, but hopefully we'll get that next music as well up on Spotify, because it'd be nice to have that collection all in one place.
Very nice, very nice. I know a lot of folks would appreciate that, because I have this game open when I'm working during the day, just because I love that entry. Like, it's epic. It's just epic, the music. All right, let's see.
Yeah, normally when it comes to music in games development, by the end of the project, you're always fed up with the track. But actually, it's one of the few instances, you know, of games I've worked on over the past 20 years to actually I'm not tired of the music. I can still happily just have it in the background.
That's the case, yes. It's just so immersive. I really like it. I couldn't imagine playing without it, to be honest. I know that a lot of people tend to game with their custom background music, but it just helps the immersion for me.
I hear you completely. I have it through my OBS as well, and I've always got it open. So sometimes, even when I'm playing our other game, I've still got the angry music going. I just love it. I really do. Can I show you how it looks with the strike off? I apologize. We are on a dev build, and I'm having a bit of an issue with my strike. So I'm not able to, unfortunately, but we will, and I don't think you'll have to wait too long before you get that into your own hands.
I mean, you know what I might do is after this, record a little clip, and why can't I throw that video onto Discord, all right?
That's fantastic. Wow, you do that. Thank you, Rushy. There you go. Not too shabby. Will boats be getting depth finders, possible GPS nav to save waypoints for hotspots? Now that's an interesting use for them. Save waypoints for hotspots. I mean,
that's a great.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. That's actually, we've been looking at different ways that we can, you know, add more features to the boats. Obviously, you know, the likes of rod holders, the ability to, you know, troll properly in the water, and other elements like that. But that sounds great, and we definitely want to expand, I guess, the range of abilities. And obviously, it's fantastic to utilize them to get around reserve. They're, you know, very convenient, but to actually help your fishing, they don't do a great deal right now. So we definitely want to expand upon that range of options. Again, these are all future things rather than the next few updates, but there's definitely an area that we want to, do more with.
Excellent, man. This next game of the wish list, fantastic. That's beautiful. And Glittered Kitten has a very nice message I think I should pass along. I appreciate all you do, Devs. Fabulous game. Fabulous. Love the experience this game allows me. Glittered Kitten. Wow. It's great for you guys to be able to hear some of this, because I know you get a lot of, as devs, you hear a lot, well, we want this and we want that and we want these changes, but there is a lot of folks that really appreciate what you're doing, and I hope you guys are seeing this.
Yeah, and that's the thing, when you go into the community, whether it's Discord or Twitter or anywhere else where people are airing their thoughts, it's all done in a very respectful way typically, and I think we've got a fantastic community where no one's shouting, no one's crying about things. They're asking and suggesting some really good ideas. So it's been really good to, I guess, work with you guys to evolve the game, because you make our lives easier in many regards.
Yeah, I would also say that, especially when it comes to a game like ours, which does a lot of things very differently, also being an open world, you never know. I mean, some of you may have a really good idea, to make this even better. So ideas are always welcome, along with your feedback.
Yes, absolutely. And folks, if you haven't heard by now, the Discord has become the hub of our activities. Not only can you find a lot of updates coming from our devs in there, even just in the general chat, but we have sections for you all where you can give your thoughts, your opinions, your suggestions via our forums. There's a spot there as well. If you do ever have any technical difficulties, our QA team is watching like a hawk, and they take a lot of that and act. So get on in there. I think it's one of the reasons why you guys added on the news feed the direct link to get into the Discord. Props for that, by the way. That made it very accessible. We've seen a lot of folks joining.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm very pleased that people have actually used that link and have joined from the game. Because again, not everyone watches the streams or follows on socials. So putting it directly in the game means that you've got that direct link to these things, and yes, it's definitely brought more people with it, and hopefully we can do more initiatives and things like that within the news section of the game to make it easier for players to connect.
Absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing about it. But of course, we do have more than that. We also have our Reddit, and you can find us on all the platforms, so make sure you're following us there, folks. Always something going on. Wow. Man alive. The visuals, they always give me a moment to catch my breath here. And this is a lake down here, or up here I should say, that I don't get out on as often. Now, if you have a special location, my friends, that you would like to share, please do so in the Discord, especially with King of the Catch, as we saw a lot of them come to light with the trout, with the lake trout. But now having the pike going, good things come to those who bait. I love it. You guys had way too much fun with that stuff. You really, really did.
Yeah. And just a quick note on the quick chat. In the current build, you'll notice that the kind of messages and information are queued, so it will show one message, then the next. The longer term intention, and something that we're going to be working on very soon, is making that into an actual feed, so you can see the multiple instances of either quick chat or what people have caught inside the game, to give us a better view on all the messages. Because when we started off, of course, we had just a couple of activity feed messages to send through. Now with quick chat and some other things coming down the line, it's going to get a little bit busier. So we want to change that presentation to make sure you get a better view on what's going on inside the world.
Excellent. Getting messaged here, making sure I wasn't saying anything I wasn't supposed to say. Not that I've done that before. Oh, goodness. Got a question about the Hunter Yellow. Sorry, I apologize, Ace. We're all things here today on the Angler, but please jump into the official Hunter Discord, and definitely get you looked after there. Haven't played yet as a monk constable, but are the boats Oh, are the boat's floor storage compartments accessible for storing bait, reel, etc.?
Well, that kind of relates back to what we were talking about just before about adding kind of new features to the boats, and that's an idea we actually had early on in development, but it was just one of those features that didn't quite make the cut, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that'd be a great option to expand, storage options and utilize the boat to take more with you on a trip. But on that point, we have heard your feedback about the capacity of your storage, and when you're going out on an fishing expedition, it can be a bit of a pain sometimes. You haven't quite got enough space to carry everything you want. So again, that's an area we're looking into. We definitely want to expand upon it. And I think if we do that, we'd also need to make sure we do some refinements as well to the UI to make it a bit more usable. So again, an area that we're aware of, and something we definitely want to make it easier to get around and carry the gear that you want to use on the trip.
That's something definitely to look forward to. And I think the possibilities for that are quite compelling. I mean, in boats, Jeep, backpack, everything. I'm interested to see what the team comes up with in the future. Absolutely. Rock and Stone, we did cover that, and I know a lot of you haven't been here for the whole stream, and we have gone over a few things more than once, but just so I'm not constantly bothering them with the question, console is fully in development, and Rushy was saying earlier how he's regularly on the builds, and we'll keep you updated as we know more. But unfortunately, we don't have a date yet to offer you, fine folks, but things are progressing nicely. Oh, I'm trying to get through the chat. Sorry, Rashi?
I was going to say, hopefully, I mean, I'd love to be able to, like we are doing right now, we're showing off the dev build. I think it'll be fantastic for us. I don't know when is a suitable time, but to actually show the console build in action at some point, just to show the updates, show the progress, to improve the fact, because a lot of people are asking for the console build. But it does exist, and it does play well. So maybe we can show it off sometime, hopefully soon.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to leave you folks for 1 second. I'll be right back.
What is... So, Rush, what you got so far?
In terms of catches, I mean, I've come woefully underprepared, and I need to get more cash because my 2 kilogram line is just not cutting it. I've had 4, I think. I would presume or guess pikes, and each of them have been spooled out every single time. So I've clearly not got the necessary equipment to get any good catches today.
Terribly sorry about that. Some struggles here on my home front. Well, it looks like Danny's been pulling them in. I mean, he's had most of the catches so far on this boat. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I got something already. Let's see. I got 2 pikes, a bronze and a silver one so far.
Very nice.
I was going for a gold. I was luring it, but then it flew away. I'm so sad.
That's always the worst situation where you can see them just in front of you, you're luring them, and then you just run out of line and they get away.
Yeah, it disappeared under our boat. So sad.
Here's an interesting suggestion from Vorgrax. He says he wants visible gear on his character, like visible tackle bag and backpack and so on.
Oh,
that's interesting. That would be difficult, would it not? Oh, I mean, anything's
not out of the realms of possibility. I don't know. That's definitely one where I think we'd need to get one of our character artists or animators onto the stream, and they'd be able to answer that question, because I do like the sound of having accessories and gear on you as you run around. How challenging it would be, I'm not the person to ask, but this is why I think it's great having a variety of people on the streams. Obviously, we've had mainly designers and production so far, but hopefully we can get some of our code team and artists, and they can maybe deep dive into some of these things.
Well, that would be, yes, definitely. Is there a date? No, there is not a date for console yet, Christians. We just covered it there. As soon as possible. It is in development, and it's coming along quite nicely. Oh, we got the music. That's the sunrise officially. Oh. How does Lake Trout bite spoons now so often? It's about the size of what you're using and where you're at, but you can get more info on that in the Discord, my friend. Definitely. BZ Hub, hello. Welcome. How are you, my man? What's happening? Any bow fishing coming to the game? What's up, yo, daddy? That's well. Now I know before we even, put that out there to Rushy, he's hearing it. These are things that it's hard to say what is and what isn't coming, but I know there's considerations. I'm sure bow fishing, as that would be difficult. I'm sure that's something that has been tossed around out there.
It's been mentioned alongside dynamite fishing and other kind of more out there suggestions.
That would be
great. But it's definitely the sort of thing where we want to expand the range of techniques availability inside the game to catch fish. And obviously, as we introduce more species into the game, you'll need more techniques to catch them all. So we definitely will be working on those soon, and we want to make sure you've got a variety of tools and options available to you to choose how you want to fish. Now, I can't promise bow fishing or definitely not dynamite fishing, but we will be bringing more techniques to the game, definitely.
Dynamite fishing. I don't know. I guess I'm dating myself here, but it makes me think of Crocodile Dundee. He's sitting in the huts and just dropping dynamite.
Don't expect a B score.
Yeah, no doubt. Dino, we do ! Discord should get you the link. It's also actually in game on the news feed, and I'm still so impressed with that. You can just click right on there and come on in, come and join the fun and the excitement, the competitions, and really meet some of our incredible community members who I've seen them as of late with all the new members that are constantly joining, helping out, giving direction. It's just very heartwarming to see. Right, Yuletide. I agree. The scenery is so nice to enjoy. It's relaxing. If you're like someone like myself that works from home, having the ability to go and jump into a boat and hear the water lapping off the side, it's so relaxing, almost too relaxing. But getting out there with your friends, as you can see, 3 of us in a boat here hanging out. I'm the guy kicking back right now with something that, well, it's not in my cup holder because it's in my hand. Like a typical fishing trip, getting out there with your buddies. It's what it's all about. And, it was this big, right? Got to be lots of those stories going. Wait, Caldwell King. Will there be a great one fish? Not a great one per se, but there's some interesting stuff in the works. Don't know if you can really say much about that. We talked a little about it last stream.
We did hint at it, and it's we let's just say we took a lot of inspiration from the great ones in the Hunter, and whilst we wanted to take some of the cues and some of the best things about that, we've made, we've taken our own spin on it, and we're doing something different. So again, not going to give away everything on it just yet, but expect something along those lines in the near future.
You'll learn more as we get closer, my friends, but it's exciting. It is exciting. Like, it's the fact I can't get the grin off my face, and you guys know me, so I gotta stop talking about it. Moving along. Oh, great. Wow. We've covered a fair bit. We've talked a lot about what's coming. Obviously, for those of you just joining now, I would recommend going back and watching the VOD after the fact here. We haven't been able to give any dates, but you can expect soon to have a new update with some of the features that you've seen. Now, although I can't actually do my strike at the moment, let me just show you one more time here, because I think this is a major change to how we play. So first off, if you missed it, in the options under accessibility, you can now completely remove the strike SFX sound effects and the strike indicator, or you can have it set to a minimal. So there are definitely options there on however you want to go about this. It will change the fishing experience, but I think one of the other ones that is going to really draw a lot of attention is this right here. The fact that we can now focus on that float and get that, dare I say, hardcore approach was a big change, one that came from the community. And I'm tipping my hat to you, gentlemen, and the rest of the team. It's going to greatly change the fishing experience by being able to customize like this.
Yeah, we feel like it's going to be one of those things that allows you to play in a much more immersive fashion. And I'm really looking forward to the feedback, because as again with all of our features, we want to stress that if there are more things we can do, better things we can do to improve the features that we add, again we'll want to iterate and refine what we go in. So what you get in soon, with this kind of authentic strike options, is just the start. So again, we can continue to add more flexibility, more options, depending on again the feedback. So yeah, I'm looking to see where it goes. But yeah, I think it's a great addition to the game. And again, it's there because everyone's been asking for it.
And that's really what it comes down to, my friends. Community driven. So once again, go get involved, get into the Discord, get on the Reddit, follow us on all the socials, come and join us in game for a fish. And of course, let us know what you think. And if you have suggestions of where you'd like to see things go. An hour's flown by. It just seems to happen. So big round of applause to our very good friend Rushy and Danny for coming out here today. You guys, you're amazing. Thank you for doing this, and really thank you for the information and getting to know the community like this. It means a lot.
All right, so it was always a pleasure coming on. I do tend to feel like it's always me week in, week out. So I want to really get more of the team, get them up talking about the game, talk about the things that they work on in detail a bit more. But yeah, it's always a pleasure to come on and play the game with you.
Thank you, Rushy.
Likewise, always super fun and good coming and spend some time with you guys.
Beautiful. Thank you, Danny. Hey, you guys are doing great work, and I can't wait to see what's happening next. Come and join us next week, my friends. Thank you all so very much. And one last big shout out to all of our mods. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Can't do this all without you. Until then, we'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.